Hello, America. Faith, hope, and charity. These posters and these men, Samuel Adams, George Washington, and Ben Franklin, this is who we are. Hope. Hope. What other country on the planet, better yet, what other country in the history of the planet has inspired so many people to risk their life and limb just to get here? Remember, do we have the video of the people coming off the boats? Just a chance to have a better life. There's not even a guarantee of anything. It's just a chance. People don't take their families through shark-infested waters on a raft because they're searching for a handout. They just want a chance. You've heard it a million times. These people came for the hope of a better life. They know in America all you need is a dream and some elbow grease. Anything is possible in this country. Last I checked, no one's floating on their way just to get a chance to get to Cuba or to China or to Venezuela. No. Hope. Hope has always come from America. Now, how do we provide hope? Well, the cornerstone of our hope has always been here. Faith. This is Samuel Adams. Read the book A Life, Samuel Adams. My gosh, this is incredible. Adams felt America was put together by divine providence. All of them did, all of them. They relied on divine providence. And with a firm reliance on divine providence, we mutually pledged to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. God played an instrumental role. He was the one to have faith in. Not any of these guys. It's not George Washington. In fact, George Washington said, "It is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, to obey His will, to be grateful for His benefits, and to humbly implore His protection and favor." Have we humbly implored God for His protection and favor? And then there's charity. Charity. Ben Franklin invented the potbelly stove, and he gave it away so everyone could have it. But it was his choice. This guy didn't say, let's set the government up so we could take his invention away. He gave it of his own free will. And that tradition has continued. When there was an earthquake or a tsunami, when there is hunger and poverty, who comes? There is no other country in the history of the world that has been more charitable than America. Name the country that giving is such a way of life that we are. Name a country that is more generous than America. Is it France? Is it Spain? Is it Germany? China? Faith, hope, and charity. They're not just the essential teachings of Christ, but they are the essential teachings of our founders. I said something a long time ago, way back when I was still living in the world, you know, where Marxism has been discredited. There's no one left that believes in that fantasy land. You know, that period of your life. I was way back then, I said that America could never be destroyed from the outside. The only way to destroy America is to rot it from the inside. Collapse our system from the inside. It's got to be one of us that brings us to our knees. When I said that, I was trying to give hope to people, but I didn't have the full truth, because little did I know that there were people, our own countrymen, who are already here on the inside who actually want to do that, bring our country to its knees. That's insanity. And they're doing it with these three things: faith, hope, and charity. That sounds crazy too. I mean, who can possibly attack hope or charity? Who would spend time attacking faith? The progressive left, however, has a problem with this man's religion, Christianity. He's had a problem. They have a real problem with that. Rosie O'Donnell thinks Christians are evil. It's funny, the same people who are attacking me right now, remember Time magazine, Glenn Beck hates Jesus? Progressives. Progressives are the ones that say, you've got to rot America from the inside. You have to be inside in order to bring her down. It has been the plan the whole time. Make progress. baby steps. Well, progress from where to what? From the Constitution to a democracy. We're not a democracy. So now that it's happening, why is America surprised? They've been clear for 100 years. Radical progressives are infecting America by deceiving unsuspecting people on their true intentions. Why did I put George Washington here as hope? I put him here because without the truth, there is no hope. It's false hope. The president says that the worst is behind us right now. But I was reading today in the newspaper something that the left has mocked me for, because I said we're going to lose our AAA status, which means our interest rate on our loans is going to go through the roof. Here's the article here. UK, U.S. move closer to losing rating, Moody's says. Everyone in their gut knows the worst is not behind us. You know that. It's not difficult to see the current spending is unsustainable. At some point, there's a brick wall in front of us. We're on the brink, and the president has already taken bloated government that was out of control before he got into office, and he's making it bigger. But that's destroying yourself. Why would you want to do that? Except the radicals aren't admitting it's the goal. What happens when everything comes crumbling down? Where does the hope come from? Do you remember when they were promising the worst is behind us? And I told you at that time, look out, an emergency. An emergency will come. Well, can you trust the guy who is currently offering you hope? Let me ask you this. Name the institutions besides the military that you trust, that you feel they have honor, they have integrity. Is it the media? Is it the Senate? The House? The Republicans, the Democrats, the EPA? Who? Park police? Is there anything that you really believe in? Hope, you see, comes from a belief in something. How can you have hope in things that are rotting from the inside? You can't. The truth must be restored before you can have hope. And finally, charity. What was one of the first things that Barack Obama did when he took office? Do you remember? We talked about it. We said, this doesn't make any sense. He tried to take away tax incentives on charity. Why? Because he wanted to teach Americans how to be charitable. Excuse me? Americans don't need a lesson on charity. We're the most taxed, or one of the most taxed nations on planet Earth. We also, bar none, are the most giving country that has ever existed in the history of mankind. We don't need to be taught charity. We get it instinctively. We got it down. Thank you very much, Mr. President. They are taking charity and jamming it through into the government and rotting it from the inside. In the end, this is the answer. But it is also the disease if you take these faces out and turn them into these faces. Faith with Al Gore, hope with Barack Obama, and charity through health care with Nancy Pelosi. America, this is the moment. The fundamental transformation of America is here. I know you are busy. I know you have other things going on in your life. But I also know that this is still America. When things get tough, that's when we get going. And we're going to get up, and not with bullets, not with guns, but with ideas, with faith, hope, and charity. We shall overcome.